The air in the arena was electric, a symphony of celebration. At its center, bathed in the incandescent glow of the spotlights, stood the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, the Undisputed WWE Universal Champion. The twin belts slung over his shoulders weren't just leather and gold. They were the physical manifestation of a promise fulfilled, a story finish, fresh off a grueling victory over Gunther. Had money in the bank. Cody was the undisputed king of the new era. He held the microphone, a confident smile playing on his lips as he addressed the thunderous applause of the WWE Universe. For so long, Cody began, his voice resonating with sincerity. This was all I ever wanted, to stand in this ring in front of all of you and be able to say with absolute certainty that I am your champion. We did it. We finished the story. But a story doesn't just end. A great story becomes a legacy. And my legacy, our legacy, is just beginning. I have defended this championship with every fiber of my being, and I will continue to do so for anyone who wants to step up and try to start their own story at my expense. So, as we look ahead to the biggest party of the summer, as we look to SummerSlam, I have just one question. Who's next? The question hung in the air, a challenge to a locker room full of hungry competitors. But the answer didn't come from backstage. It came in the form of 3 thunderous, iconic horn blasts that sent a seismic shockwave through the building. Ah! The joyous roar of the crowd was instantaneous, a tidal wave of nostalgia and disbelief. John Cena, the 16-time world champion, the man who defined an entire generation, was here. But something was different. The kaleidoscope of brightly colored merchandise was gone, replaced by stark, dark gear, black shorts, black armbands. The familiar ear-to-ear grin of the fan-favorite hero was absent, supplanted by a cold, disturbingly focused stare. This was not the Cena they remembered. This was a predator. He walked his familiar march to the ring, but there was no saluting, no playing to the crowd. His eyes were locked on one target, Cody Rhodes and the championships he held. He entered the ring, the roar of the fans slowly quieting as they sensed the shift in atmosphere. Cody, ever the professional, extended a hand, a sign of respect for the legend before him. Cena stared at the hand as if it were a venomous snake before looking up and taking the microphone offered to him. You finished the story, Cody Cena started, his voice a low, dangerous rumble that cut through the arena's tension. The crowd cheered, thinking this was an endorsement. Cena let them cheer for a moment before raising a hand, and an unnerving silence fell. A beautiful, heartwarming story. You made your father proud. You made all these people cry. You climbed the mountain, and you planted your flag. He took a step closer, invading Cody's personal space. The air grew thick, heavy, but you made one critical mistake, Cody. You climbed the wrong mountain. A confused murmur rippled through the audience. Cody's respectful smile faltered. My mountain, Cena continued, the condescension in his voice now laced with pure venom, is higher. My story is bigger. And your little fairy tale ending? It's just a chapter in my book. A book that has one final glorious chapter left to be written, and it ends with me holding championship number 17. The shock was palpable. The crowd's adulation curdled into a mix of gasps and boos. This wasn't a dream match proposal. This was a hostile takeover. You stand there, wearing 2 titles, Cena sneered, gesturing dismissively at the belts. I've held the big one 16 times. 16 times I was the man who carried this company on his back while I was main eventing WrestleMania. You are painting your face in a desperate attempt to be noticed. While I was making this championship the most important prize in the world, you are getting fired. You didn't finish the story, Cody. You just got handed the pen after I wrote the bestseller. You're not the face of the place, kid. You're just keeping my throne warm. I'm not here to ask. I'm here to tell you. At SummerSlam, it's you versus me. And your story is over. Cena dropped the microphone with a deafening thud. He didn't attack. He didn't need to. The psychological assassination was complete. He turned and left the ring, leaving a stunned Cody Rhodes standing alone, the weight of his championship suddenly feeling like an anchor. His triumphant homecoming transformed into the eerie calm before an unthinkable war. The deconstruction of a nightmare. 1 week later, Cody Rhodes walked to the ring with a purpose that bordered on rage. The champion's smile was gone, replaced by the hardened glare of a man whose entire life's work had been belittled on a global stage. Last week, Cody said, his voice tight with controlled fury, John Cena came to my ring, stood on my show, and tried to invalidate my story. He called my journey a chapter in his book. Well, let me be clear, John. You left this book on the shelf to collect dust years ago. You traded this ring for a director's chair and these fans for a movie crew. You talk about pressure. I live with the pressure of the Rhodes name every single day. I fought my way back here from obscurity. Not for a pat on the back from a part-time legend, but for them. He pointed to the roaring crowd. You want a match at SummerSlam? You got it. But if you want to face me, then do it like a man. Stop hiding behind your Hollywood legacy and face the man who runs this place now. But Cena wasn't there. Instead, the Titantron flickered to life, showing John Cena not in an arena, but relaxing in a plush chair on the balcony of a luxurious Hollywood Hills mansion overlooking a glittering city. He was wearing sunglasses and a silk robe, a picture of detached arrogance. Whoa, slow down there, Kid Cena said with a smug chuckle, taking a sip from a glass. Listen to you. All that anger. All that insecurity. One conversation with me, and your champion's composure is already shattered. You see, that's the difference between you and me, Cody. You need their approval, he said, gesturing vaguely as if to encompass the entire WWE Universe. You feed on it. I don't need anything. I earned the right to do what I want, when I want. I'm not on your schedule. The pressure is getting to you, isn't it? The thought of facing me, the real G, is already making your hands shake when you hold those titles. I'll be there next week. Be ready. The screen went black, leaving Cody fuming in the ring. The disrespect was profound. Cena wasn't just a challenger. He was a puppeteer, pulling Cody's emotional strings from thousands of miles away. As promised, Cena was there the following week, but not in the way anyone expected. Cody Rhodes was in the main event. A grueling non-title match against the monstrously aggressive Shinsuke. After a punishing 20 minutes, Cody finally hit the crossroads and got the pinfall. As he was catching his breath, Cena's music hit, but he was nowhere to be seen. The distraction was enough. Nakamura, from behind, sprayed poison mist into Cody's eyes. As the blinded champion stumbled around the ring, John Cena emerged from the crowd, hopping the barricade. He slid into the ring, a predatory grin on his face. He stalked a disoriented Cody, hoisting his dead weight onto his shoulders with terrifying ease. He marched to the ropes and, with a display of pure, ruthless aggression, delivered a bone-jarring attitude adjustment that sent Cody crashing over the top rope and onto the unforgiving steel steps below. A sickening metallic crunch echoed through the arena. Cena slid out of the ring, picked up the 2 championship belts that had fallen, and slung them over his shoulders. He didn't pose. He didn't smile. He simply stared down at Cody's broken form, then slowly raised his gaze to the massive SummerSlam sign hanging from the rafters. The message was sent. The psychological warfare was over. The physical war had begun. The inevitable collision. The final Raw before SummerSlam was built around one thing: the official contract signing. A long table draped in black cloth stood in the ring, with WWE official Adam Pearce nervously presiding. Cody Rhodes came out first, his ribs heavily taped, a grimace of pain on his face with every step, but his eyes burned with a fire that hadn't been there before, the fire of pure hatred. John Cena followed, exuding an aura of supreme, untouchable confidence. After they were seated, Cena picked up the microphone. "Before we do this," he began, his voice calm and deliberate, "I want to say something. I've been thinking about your father, Cody, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes." A dangerous silence fell over the arena. Cody's knuckles turned white as he gripped the edge of the table. "He was a man of the people," Cena continued, twisting the knife with surgical precision. "A legend, one of the greatest to ever do it. But for all his greatness, he never won the big one here. He never held the WWE Championship. You did. You came here, and you fulfilled your father's dream. You gave the Rhodes name the one thing it was missing. And at SummerSlam, ... in front of the entire world, in front of the people who worship his memory, ... I'm going to take that away from you. I am going to prove once and for all that my dream, my legacy, is more powerful than the American dream ever was. It was the ultimate violation." He weaponized the memory of Dusty Rhodes. Cody Rhodes slowly rose to his feet, his body trembling not with fear, but with an uncontrollable rage. Tears welled in his eyes, but they were tears of fury. "You Lee. My father auto this," Cody roared, his voice cracking with emotion. He flipped the heavy table over with a surge of adrenaline, sending papers and microphones flying. This was never about him. This was never about you just wanting a 17th title. This is about your ego. You can't stand The light moved on. You left. You abandoned every single one of these people for movie posters and press junkets. This is not your house anymore. You are the past, John. A glorious Hall of Fame past. But it's over. At SummerSlam, I am not fighting for my father's legacy. I am fighting for mine. And I'm fighting for every single person you left behind. With that, Cody lunged across the overturned table, tackling Cena to the mat. The two men unleashed a torrent of pent-up aggression, trading frantic, wild punches. The ring flooded with security guards and officials, desperately trying to pry the two superstars apart. They were dragged to opposite corners, still trying to get at each other, their faces contorted in masks of pure animosity. You're done, John. It's over. Cody screamed, straining against the guards, holding him back. Your fairytale ends at Summer. Cena bellowed back, his eye cut and a trickle of blood running down his temple. The show went off the air with that chaotic, violent image too. Titans of their respective eras. Two legacies on a collision course, promising nothing short of mutual destruction. The road to SummerSlam was paved with disrespect, aggression, and psychological torment. It was no longer a dream match for the ages. It was a nightmare from which only one man could emerge with his legacy intact.